Hey, it's Kip and the Legend back on Talking Sports. Our special guest, Auburn expert Chip Lake, and the Legend has been very gracious so far to our friends down south. We're going to bring the schedule up here, Chip, and get a look at that and let you and the Legend kind of look at it. My analysis is there's 5 games they absolutely should win, but I think there's 7 really tough challenges on this schedule. Legend, what do you think?
Well, I think, it's obvious that the Oregon game will set the tone for the season. And a lot of people in Vegas likes Auburn just because of the strength of them trenches playing Oregon. But we know that Oregon has a top-flight quarterback that's going to be a high draft pick. So it goes back to the quarterback position with Auburn in some of these games. I just don't like Auburn here because Oregon has the better quarterback. What do you think, my friend?
Well, look, I don't disagree with the assessment that the Oregon game is going to set the tone for the season. I had that same thought process last year in the Washington game, and it did not. I mean, we for all intents and purposes could have lost that game, and we still finished 8-5. So it didn't really do a whole lot to set the tone for what we had. Look, I think we've got the toughest schedule in the country this year. That being said, this is the best placement of bye weeks that I've ever seen on an Auburn schedule. We've got 7 home games this year, but not one of them are in the month of October. So we can really break the season down into 3 different segments. I mean, we play Mississippi State at home at the end of September, and we don't return to Jordan-Hare until we play Ole Miss at the beginning of November. So Oregon's going to be a preseason top 10. Florida's likely going to be right around the top 10. LSU's always the top 10 caliber team. Texas A&M's going to be top 15, top 20. We play all of those games away from Jordan-Hare. So is it realistic that we could win 2 of those games? Of course. But 3 of those games, man, that's going to be tough. And that's even before we get to home games at the end of the season against Georgia and Alabama.
Let's hit these themes real quick while we can. New offensive coordinator. Auburn is going with the trend of the wonderkind, young, brilliant offensive coordinator, Mr. Dillingham, coming in. I want to get both your guys' quick thoughts on this. Is Gus going to yield the podium and let this guy do his thing, or is Gus going to demand to have a hold of the throne?
Well, I'll tell you right now, Gus is either going to take credit or throw the blame off on this individual. That's the way this is going to go. Because, Gus is calling the plays down there. That's what he's known for. Gus came in as an offensive genius. If I am an offensive genius, why do I need somebody else calling my plays? It don't make sense to me. It just don't.
What do you think, Chip?
Well, look, Gus called a system of offense before a lot of college programs were running it, and now everybody's running it. It's not all that big of a deal. Look, I'm excited about having Kenny Dillingham on campus. I don't even think he's 30 years old. I think he's in his late 20s. He's got a tremendous amount of energy. You look at the offensive production in Memphis last year. They had a 3,000-yard passer. They had two 1,000-yard rushers. He's what limited resume we have to evaluate Kenny Dillingham looks really good. But I do have to agree with what the Legend said on the outset. Look, if it goes well, Gus is going to take the credit. If everything goes south, we're going to need to bring in a new coordinator in the following season. That's just the way it is. But Auburn folks are excited about not only the beginning of the Bo Nix era, but I'm excited about on campus, and I expect good things from him.
Bo Nix, that's the big topic.
Yes.
True freshman coming in. Chip, are they going to give Bo Nix the throttle here, or you told me yesterday not so fast on that?
Yeah, look, I probably take a different view of the Bo Nix situation than most of my Auburn brethren. I would like to see Bo Nix not start the year at quarterback. Well, why do you not want to see that? Well, number one, I think Joey Gatewood deserves an opportunity to show what he can do at that position. I think Joey Gatewood, we know he's a tremendous athlete. How is he going to respond on the field in a situation at the quarterback position? We don't know. I mean, look, there's never been expectations on a kid like there has been Bo Nix. I can't remember a time in Auburn football history that there's ever been a quarterback that came in with more on his shoulders. Let's give this kid some time to develop. Let's wait, get it in. We have to wait to see how this offensive line develops. Sure, we've got some talent, and sure, we've got some experience, but they weren't all that good last year. And then the second reason I'd like to see Joey Gatewood start the year is if Bo Nix starts the season at quarterback for Auburn, or if he comes in Texas in the Oregon game, make no mistake about it, he is going to start the Tulane game. He's going to start the Kent State game, and Joey Gatewood will be in the transfer portal. It's what happens in today's age of college football, and I don't want to lose Joey Gatewood in our program because then we're really thin in the quarterback position.
Chip, the time has flown by. We certainly appreciate all of these great insights. Legend, I told you Chip would give us the real story.
Yeah, I may have to call a doctor.
There you go, baby.
Legend's still shaking, Chip.
They talked this
We
much
get
about
off to a
Auburn
good
in
story.
years.
I'm calling
Thinking about
back.
Nick Saban not being on the sidelines, you rocked his world. Thanks so much for joining us. We'd love to have you back on as we get closer to the season.
Man, love it. Appreciate you guys having me on.
We'll be right back after this.